Hello, followers of the Stoic Glasses King. Today, we are embarking on a fascinating and controversial journey at the intersection of Stoic philosophy and psychology, the art of persuasion to control any person or situation. At first glance, this phrase might seem overreaching or even manipulative. But let us examine the true intent and potential behind these words through a Stoic lens. Here, the concept of control focuses not on forcibly shaping the external world, but on mastering our internal responses. When we understand our own minds and emotions, we can respond to the events around us more consciously and effectively, like a ship's captain. You cannot calm the storm, but by steering the helm wisely, you can guide your vessel safely to the harbor. For Stoics, the art of persuasion is not a battle, but a collaboration. Instead of seeing the other person as an opponent, we strive to understand their thoughts, beliefs, and motivations. Through empathy, we can find common ground and reach solutions together. Like a gardener, you cannot force a flower to bloom, but by providing the right conditions, you allow its natural beauty to unfold. In this video, we will explore 18 psychological techniques through a Stoic perspective. These techniques will help us delve into the depths of human psychology and uncover the hidden mechanisms that influence our behavior. But remember, when using this knowledge, we must always remain ethical and honest. For Stoics, virtue is the foundation of all success and persuasion. If you're ready, open your mind and let's begin uncovering the secrets of the art of persuasion through the wisdom of Stoicism. 1. Stoic art of persuasion. Control emotions. Create impact. The foundation of Stoicism is managing emotions and making rational decisions. For Stoics, emotions are not enemies but complex messages that need to be understood. By keeping our emotional responses under control, we can become more effective communicators and persuasive individuals. Imagine this. During an argument, you start feeling anger rising within you. A Stoic approach would be to step back and observe that anger instead of giving into it. Try to understand the source of your anger. Is it because you feel your beliefs are being attacked? Or perhaps you feel inadequate? Once you identify the root cause, you can channel that anger in a more constructive way. It's like redirecting the flow of a river, not suppressing the water, but guiding it into a more productive channel. As Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When we apply this principle to persuasion, we gain a significant advantage. Even if someone tries to provoke us, we can remain calm and rational. This makes us more resistant to emotional manipulation and allows us to think clearly. Let's consider a practical example. You're in a job interview, and the potential employer adopts an aggressive tone. Instead of reacting emotionally, maintain your composure and try to understand their motivation. Are they testing your resilience? Or perhaps projecting their own stress onto you? Once you grasp the situation, you can respond professionally and effectively. Answer their questions calmly, showcase your skills, and demonstrate your value. This approach not only increases your chances of getting the job, but also reflects your character. Remember, controlling your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. Instead, it means understanding and managing them. With a Stoic mindset, you can use your emotions as a source of information, enabling you to make better decisions. This will not only enhance your ability to persuade, but also help you become a more balanced and peaceful individual. 2. The hidden weapon of persuasion masters. Stoic calm and confidence. A true persuasion begins with a calm and confident demeanor. For Stoics, this is not just a strategy, it's a way of life. Imagine, amidst the relentless waves of life, having an inner harbor to retreat to. This harbor is the sense of calm and confidence that Stoicism offers. Stoics acknowledge that external events can affect us, but they emphasize that our responses to these events are entirely within our control. As Epictetus famously said, it is not events that disturb people, but their judgments about them. In persuasion, this principle is crucial. No matter how aggressive, persistent, or manipulative the other person may be, if you maintain your inner composure, you won't fall into their trap. Remaining calm doesn't just help you control your emotional reactions, it also allows you to think more clearly and make better decisions. It's like seeing the bottom of a clear lake. When your mind is calm, you can perceive the reality of the situation more accurately. This clarity helps you understand the other person's intentions and develop a strategy accordingly. So, how can you cultivate stoic calm and confidence? Here are a few practical methods. Mindfulness exercises. Regular meditation or breathing exercises can help you calm your mind and stay present in the moment. Dealing with negative thoughts. Become aware of your negative thoughts and question them. Are they supported by evidence, or are they just tricks of your mind? Staying true to your values. Knowing your values and beliefs gives you a strong foundation. It allows you to act according to your principles without being swayed by others. Premeditatio malorum, foreseeing negative scenarios. Visualize the worst-case scenario in advance. This reduces anxiety and prepares you for challenges. However, be careful not to let this practice lead to pessimism. Now, imagine you're a sales professional. Your client aggressively objects to your pitch. If you panic, you're likely to say the wrong thing and lose the sale. But if you remain calm, you can identify the real reason behind their objection and offer a suitable solution. Perhaps they just need reassurance, or maybe they have a misconception about your product. By staying composed, you can resolve the issue and close the deal. Remember, stoic calm and confidence isn't something you achieve overnight. It's a process that requires consistent practice and discipline. But once you invest in this journey, you'll not only enhance your persuasion skills, but also find greater success and happiness in every aspect of your life. 3. Empathy and understanding. The cornerstone of Stoic persuasion. Empathy and understanding form the foundation of Stoic persuasion. For Stoics, every person has intrinsic value and deserves respect. Without understanding the needs, values, and concerns of the other person, true persuasion is impossible. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to see the world through their eyes and feel what they feel. It's like reading a map to understand someone's world. You need to decode their mental map. This map is shaped by their past experiences, beliefs, and fears. Stoics don't view empathy as just a communication tool. For them, empathy is a moral obligation. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, 'Today I shall meet selfish, ungrateful, disrespectful people. But they won't surprise me because I know the world is like this.'" This statement teaches us to accept people's flaws and approach them with empathy. To build empathy, we must become active listeners. This means paying attention, not only to what the other person says, but also to what they don't say. Observe their body language, tone of voice, and eye contact. Like a detective, gather clues to uncover the truth. Understanding, on the other hand, comes after empathy. It's about making sense of the other person's actions and decisions. Why do they think this way? Why are they acting this way? Understanding their motivations is key. It's like fixing a machine. Without knowing how it works, you can't repair it. Similarly, without understanding someone's inner world, persuading them becomes difficult. Here's an example. A friend asks for your advice, but doesn't follow it. Your initial reaction might be frustration or even anger. However, if you try to empathize, you might understand why they didn't take your advice. Perhaps they have a different perspective, or maybe there are factors you're unaware of. By understanding their reasoning, you can offer more constructive help. With a Stoic approach, empathy and understanding won't just enhance your persuasion. Skills, they'll also strengthen your relationships. You'll become a more compassionate, understanding, and tolerant person. Because for Stoics, humanity is our shared bond. 4. Logos, ethos, pathos. The three pillars of persuasion through Stoic wisdom. Let's explore Aristotle's renowned model of persuasion: logos, ethos, and pathos through the lens of Stoic wisdom. This trio has been a powerful tool for speakers and communicators for centuries. However, when viewed from a Stoic perspective, it highlights the importance of ethical and virtuous persuasion. Logos is persuasion based on logic and reason. Presenting your arguments clearly, supporting them with evidence and data, and maintaining consistency. It's like the foundation of a sturdy building. The persuasion process must have a solid logical base. But for Stoics, logic alone isn't enough. While presenting logical arguments, you must also be honest and fair. Logic should never be used to manipulate or deceive others. Ethos is persuasion rooted in character and credibility. Being honest, fair, respectful, and knowledgeable. Acting in alignment with your values and adhering to ethical principles. It's like a compass pointing true north. Your values should guide you in the persuasion process. For Stoics, virtue is the highest value. A virtuous person not only speaks the truth, but also acts rightly. This builds trust and credibility with others. Pathos is persuasion through emotion. Appealing to the emotions of your audience, inspiring them, motivating them. It's like a piece of music that moves its listeners. Emotions play a critical role in persuasion. However, for Stoics, emotional manipulation is unacceptable. Exploiting someone's emotions or misleading them is unethical. When using emotions, you must remain sincere and honest. Your goal should be to help the other person make better decisions. So, how can we combine these three elements with a Stoic approach? First, we must be honest and fair. Present our arguments logically, support them with evidence, and adhere to ethical principles. Second, we must respect the emotions of others, understand their needs and concerns, and address them with sincerity. Third, we must have confidence in ourselves, believing in our knowledge and abilities. But this confidence should never turn into arrogance or ego. For Stoics, humility is an essential virtue. For example, imagine you're trying to convince an investor. Logos involves proving that your business plan is logical and profitable. Ethos involves demonstrating that you're a reliable and experienced entrepreneur. Pathos involves inspiring the investor to believe in your vision. However, with a Stoic approach, you must use these three elements ethically and honestly. Never mislead the investor, be transparent about risks, and act in alignment with your values. By combining logos, ethos, and pathos with Stoic wisdom, you can become an effective persuader while preserving your ethical integrity. For Stoics, success achieved virtuously is always more valuable. 5. Stoic acceptance. Don't take rejection. Personal erection is an inherent part of the art of persuasion. No matter how skilled or prepared we are, we cannot convince everyone. However, for the Stoics, rejection is not seen as a personal failure. Instead, it is embraced as an opportunity to learn and grow. Stoic acceptance is about understanding the difference between what we can and cannot control. We cannot control the decisions of others, but we can control our reactions to those decisions. If we dwell on rejection, we cause ourselves unnecessary suffering and hinder our future success. But if we accept rejection and learn from it, we become stronger and more resilient. As Epictetus said, some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are our thoughts, desires, and actions. Beyond our power are our body, property, reputation, and position. The decision of others is beyond our control. However, how we respond to that decision is entirely up to us. To avoid taking rejection personally, we can ask ourselves the following questions. What was the reason for the other person's rejection? Was there a shortcoming in my performance? What has this rejection taught me? How can I improve for the future? Does this rejection diminish my value? Or is it simply a part of the process? Just like an athlete who fails during training, failure is a part of learning and improving. The athlete learns from their mistakes and performs better next time. In persuasion, we too can learn from rejections and become more effective communicators with a Stoic mindset. Here are some ways to overcome the fear of rejection. Avoid self-criticism. Instead of blaming or criticizing yourself after rejection, be compassionate towards yourself. Shift your focus rather than dwelling on rejection. Focus on future opportunities. Don't fear taking risks. Don't let the fear of rejection stop you from trying new things. Seek support. If you're struggling to cope with rejection, reach out to a friend, family member, or professional for help. Remember, every rejection brings you one step closer to your next success. With Stoic acceptance, you can overcome the fear of rejection and become a braver, more resilient, and more successful individual. 6. Values-based persuasion. The Stoic ethical approach to Stoicism places great importance on core values such as honesty, justice, courage, wisdom, and moderation. These values should guide not only our personal lives, but also our persuasion strategies. Values-based persuasion offers an ethical and sustainable approach because it relies on mutual respect and shared benefit rather than manipulation or deceit. The Stoics argue that we should never sacrifice our conscience or moral principles in the pursuit of persuading others. As Seneca said, "Whatever you do, listen to your conscience." This means we should not jeopardize our long-term reputation and inner peace for short-term gains. Using manipulative tactics harms not only others but also ourselves. Values-based persuasion begins with understanding the values of the person we are trying to persuade. Every individual has different beliefs, priorities, and motivations. By striving to understand their values, we can find common ground and make the persuasion process more effective. It's like building a bridge. Understanding mutual values allows us to connect two different perspectives. Key elements of ethical persuasion include honesty. Avoid distorting or hiding the truth. Present information openly and truthfully. Transparency. Clearly state your intentions. Help others understand why they should support you. Respect. Show respect for the other person's views, even if you disagree with them. Empathy. Try to understand the other person's perspective and be sensitive to their needs. Fairness. Treat everyone fairly and equally. Avoid favoritism or discrimination. Responsibility. Take accountability for the consequences of your actions. Imagine being a marketer. It might be tempting to exaggerate the benefits of your product or disparage your competitors in your advertisements. However, a Stoic marketer prioritizes honesty and transparency. They clearly present the true features and benefits of their product, refrain from making false promises, and avoid undermining their competitors. This approach helps build trust with customers and achieve sustainable success in the long run. Values-based persuasion not only influences others, but also strengthens our own character. Acting virtuously enhances our self-respect and brings us inner peace. For the Stoics, virtue is the greatest reward. Remember, true persuasion is built on mutual benefit. Our goal should not be to manipulate others, but to help them make better decisions. With values-based persuasion, you can achieve success while staying true to your ethical principles. 7. The illusion of control. Overcoming persuasion limits. With Stoic awareness on the process of persuasion, we often fall into the trap of believing that we can control everything. However, the Stoics emphasize the vital importance of distinguishing between what we can and cannot control. Falling into the illusion of control leads to unnecessary stress, disappointment, and even unethical behavior. A core principle of Stoic philosophy is recognizing the difference between internal and external factors. Our thoughts, emotions, reactions, and values are internal factors. These are within our direct control. On the other hand, the thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and decisions of others are external factors. These are beyond our direct control. As Seneca said, instead of worrying about external things, focus on cultivating inner virtue. Applying this principle in persuasion helps us adopt a more realistic, flexible, and ethical approach. For instance, imagine you're trying to make a sale. Whether or not your customer chooses to buy the product is entirely up to their free will. You can explain the benefits of your product, present compelling arguments, and even offer a discount. But in the end, the decision rests with the customer. If you try to control their decision, you'll not only face disappointment, but may also lose their trust. A Stoic approach to persuasion focuses on the process rather than the outcome. The goal might be to persuade the customer, but what truly matters is acting ethically and honestly, respecting the customer, and understanding their needs. If you manage the process correctly, you can have peace of mind regardless of the result. To overcome the illusion of control, we can practice the following Stoic exercises. Awareness. Be mindful of what is happening right now. Observe your emotions, thoughts, and reactions. Acceptance. Accept what you cannot control. Instead of resisting, let go and go with the flow. Evaluation. Objectively assess the situation. Identify what you can and cannot control. Action. Take action on what you can control. Do your best and leave the rest to fate. Remember, true persuasion is not about control, it's about influence. By inspiring others with your values and principles, you can help them make better decisions. Freeing yourself from the illusion of control makes you a more liberated, flexible, and ethical persuader. 8. Stoic persuasion practices. Prepare your mind and body. Stoicism is not just a theoretical philosophy. It's also a practical guide to life. It offers many exercises that you can integrate into your daily routine to enhance your persuasion skills. These practices help prepare your mind and body for persuasion, making you calmer, more focused, and more effective. Here are some effective Stoic persuasion exercises. Morning reflection. Every morning, before starting your day, take a few minutes to reflect on the challenges and opportunities you might face. Plan how you will prepare yourself and act virtuously in those situations. Breathing exercises. When you feel stressed or tense, take deep breaths in and exhale slowly. This helps calm your nervous system and allows you to think more rationally. Diaphragmatic breathing is especially effective. Negative visualization. Imagine losing something you value or experiencing a failure. This helps you better appreciate life and prepare for potential losses in the future. However, Be cautious not to fall into excessive pessimism while practicing this gratitude practice. Every day, take a moment to be thankful for what you have. This increases your feelings of happiness and contentment and helps you approach life with a more positive outlook. Virtue Journal. Each evening, write down the virtuous and non-virtuous actions you displayed during the day. Identify areas where you need improvement and make plans to do better in the future. Detachment from externals. Avoid becoming overly attached to your possessions, status, or other external factors. Remember that these are temporary and that your true worth comes from your inner virtues. By regularly practicing these exercises, you can make your mind and body calmer, more focused, and more resilient. This, in turn, will make you more effective in persuasion and help you achieve your goals. Just as a musician regularly tunes their instrument, you can continuously fine-tune your mind and body to maximize your performance. For example, before delivering an important presentation, you can practice morning reflection, do breathing exercises, and relax yourself. During the presentation, if you feel nervous, you can take a diaphragmatic breath to calm your mind. After the presentation, you can note in your virtue journal what you did well and where you need improvement. Remember, Stoic persuasion practices not only improve your persuasion skills, but also help you become a more balanced, peaceful, and virtuous person. By making these exercises a part of your life, you can achieve greater success in both your professional and personal endeavors. 9. Create a yes environment. Principles of rapport and approval and the art of persuasion. Creating a yes environment is a crucial step to putting the other person in a positive mindset and gaining their approval. People are more likely to trust and be open to those who share their thoughts and values. By using the principles of rapport and approval, we can create this yes environment and make the persuasion process smoother. Rapport is about building a connection with the other person, finding common ground, and emphasizing similarities. People feel closer to those who resemble them, share their values, and have similar interests. To build rapport, you can mirror body language, subtly mimic the other person's body language. This sends a subconscious signal of harmony. Just be sure to keep it natural and avoid overdoing it. Find common interests, learn about the other person's interests, and start conversations around them. Use similar words and phrases. Speak their language by incorporating the words and expressions they use. Approval, on the other hand, is about validating the other person's views, ideas, and emotions. Everyone wants to feel valued and understood. By giving approval, you show the other person that you appreciate and acknowledge them. To give approval, you can practice active listening. Listen attentively and show that you understand what they're saying. Show empathy. Try to understand their feelings and show compassion. Provide positive feedback. Acknowledge their strengths and achievements. Creating a yes environment is like preparing the soil before planting seeds. When you create a positive atmosphere, the other person's resistance decreases, and they become more open to hearing your arguments. For example, imagine meeting a potential client. Instead of immediately pitching your product, focus on building rapport first. Ask them about who they are, what they do, and what their interests are. Once you've established common ground, explain how your product can help them. Show that you understand their needs and value their input. This approach will make it easier for the client to trust you and consider your product. Remember, creating a yes environment is not just a technique. It's a mindset. Being genuine, respectful, and understanding toward others not only enhances your persuasion skills, but also helps you build stronger and more meaningful relationships. 10. The principle of scarcity, perception of rarity, and opportunity in the psychology of persuasion. One of the most effective principles is the principle of scarcity. According to this principle, people tend to value things that are limited in quantity or rare. Scarcity implies the risk of missing out on an opportunity. By using the principle of scarcity ethically, we can enhance our persuasion skills and motivate people to take action. The principle of scarcity is closely tied to a fundamental aspect of human psychology, the fear of loss. People fear losing something more than they desire to gain something. As a result, the possibility of missing out on an opportunity drives them to act. Robert Cialdini's book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, dedicates significant attention to this principle. When applying the principle of scarcity, there are some critical points to keep in mind. Honesty. Never lie or exaggerate about scarcity. Unethical behavior can harm your reputation in the long run. Transparency. Clearly explain the reason for the scarcity. For instance, mention if it's a limited production or a short-term campaign. Highlight value. Emphasize why the scarce item is valuable. Explain its benefits, unique features, or special advantages. Here are some effective ways to use the principle of scarcity. Limited production. Produce your product in limited quantities and communicate this clearly. Deadlines. Specify when a campaign or offer will end. Exclusive access. Provide access to a specific group or individual. High demand. Highlight the high demand for your product or service. For example, imagine you're a real estate agent. When introducing a house to your clients, you might say, "This is one of the last houses of its kind on the market," or "It's becoming increasingly rare to find a house in this area at this price." These statements trigger the fear of missing out, encouraging your clients to make quicker decisions. However, while using the principle of scarcity, we must ensure we don't cross ethical boundaries. Misleading or manipulating people is not only morally wrong, but can also harm your business in the long term. Strive to persuade by being honest, transparent, and providing genuine value that meets people's needs. 11. The principle of authority. The power of expertise in the art of persuasion. The principle of authority refers to the tendency of people to trust and follow the advice of those they perceive as experts or authority figures. This principle plays a crucial role in maintaining order, facilitating knowledge transfer, and promoting cooperation in society. However, Stoics caution against blind obedience to authority and emphasize the importance of critical thinking. The principle of authority develops through social learning and experience. Children grow up accepting the authority of their parents, teachers, and other adults. As adults, people value the opinions of individuals or institutions recognized in their fields of expertise. Robert Cialdini's book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, provides an in-depth explanation of how the principle of authority influences human behavior. Here are some ways to use the principle of authority ethically. Show your expertise. Share your knowledge, experience, and achievements appropriately. However, remain humble and sincere. Reference reliable sources. Support your claims with evidence from trustworthy sources. Be honest. Avoid providing false or misleading information. Refrain from commenting on topics you are not knowledgeable about. Take responsibility. Be accountable for the outcomes of the advice you give. To effectively apply the principle of authority, follow these steps. Master your field continuously. Improve your knowledge and skills. Build your reputation. Be recognized as an honest, reliable, and ethical professional. Promote yourself. Share your expertise and experience with potential clients or followers. The Stoics advocate for critical thinking rather than blind obedience to authority. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept nothing as true that is not proven." Even authority figures can be mistaken or misguided. Always use your own reasoning and evaluate information critically. Remember, true authority is based on knowledge and honesty. It is not about manipulating others or serving your own interests, but about helping others and guiding them in the right direction. With a Stoic mindset, you can use authority ethically and add value to people's lives. 12. The principle of commitment. The power of keeping promises. The principle of commitment refers to the tendency of people to want to remain consistent with their past actions, words, and commitments. Once individuals express an opinion or make a decision, they find it difficult to backtrack. This is because inconsistency creates mental discomfort, known as cognitive dissonance, which people strive to avoid. By using the principle of commitment ethically, we can enhance our persuasion skills and motivate others to take action. The principle of commitment is influenced by factors such as social norms, personal values, and self-perception. People want to appear consistent and reliable in the eyes of others. Additionally, they avoid actions that conflict with their own values. Robert Cialdini's book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, provides compelling examples of how the principle of commitment strongly impacts human behavior. Here are some important points to consider when applying the principle of commitment. Voluntary commitment. Do not force people into making commitments. Individuals who commit voluntarily are more likely to follow through. Public declaration. Encourage people to make their commitments publicly. Those who make promises in front of others are more likely to keep them. Written record. Have commitments written down. Written commitments are more powerful than verbal ones. To effectively use the principle of commitment, follow these steps. Start small. Encourage people to start with small, easily achievable commitments rather than overwhelming ones. Reinforce the commitment. Help individuals reflect on why they made a commitment and why it matters to them. Highlight consistency. Remind people of their past consistent behaviors and inspire them to act in alignment with those behaviors moving forward. The Stoics emphasize the importance of honesty and virtuous behavior. When using the principle of commitment, avoid making promises that conflict with your own values. Act with integrity and only make commitments you can genuinely keep. Remember, the principle of commitment is a powerful way to build trust and foster long-term relationships. By being honest and reliable, you can earn people's respect and encourage collaboration. 13. The principle of reciprocity. The power of returning kindness. The principle of reciprocity refers to the tendency of people to respond to kindness, favors, and gestures with similar actions. It is one of the cornerstones of human relationships and strengthens social solidarity. When someone does us a favor, we feel a sense of indebtedness and are motivated to repay it. By wisely applying the principle of reciprocity, we can enhance our persuasion skills and build positive relationships with others. The principle of reciprocity can be explained through evolutionary psychology and social learning. Humans have increased their chances of survival by cooperating and helping one another. Reciprocity builds trust and sustains long-term relationships. Robert Cialdini's book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, provides striking examples of how the principle of reciprocity shapes human behavior. When using the principle of reciprocity, it is important to consider the following points. Sincerity. Perform acts of kindness with genuine intentions. Favors done with an expectation of return are often perceived as insincere and may not achieve the desired effect. Relevance. Tailor your acts of kindness to the recipient's needs and values. Meaningless or unnecessary favors can cause discomfort or become a burden. No expectations. Avoid explicitly implying that you expect something in return. Reciprocity should occur voluntarily. To effectively use the principle of reciprocity, follow these steps. Start small. Perform small, unexpected acts of kindness. For example, buy coffee for a friend, help a coworker with a task, or hold the door open for a neighbor. Personalize. Customize your acts of kindness to suit the recipient's needs and interests. Follow up. After an act of kindness, stay in touch with the recipient and continue nurturing the relationship. The Stoics believe that virtuous behavior is its own reward. When practicing kindness, we should not expect anything in return, but instead aim for the peace and happiness that comes from acting virtuously. As Seneca said, kindness carries its own reward. I want to emphasize the importance of using the principle of reciprocity ethically. Some people may attempt to exploit this principle by making others feel indebted to serve their own interests. A Stoic approach is rooted in honesty and transparency. Our goal should not be to manipulate others, but to build relationships based on mutual respect and cooperation. 14. The principle of social proof. The wisdom of the crowd. The principle of social proof refers to the tendency of people to look to the behavior of others as a guide, especially in situations of uncertainty. When we are unsure about what to do, we observe those around us and imitate their actions. This principle helps maintain harmony in society, facilitates learning, and enables quick decision-making. By using social proof ethically, we can enhance our persuasion skills and guide people in the right direction. Social proof is influenced by factors such as evolutionary psychology, social norms, and information scarcity. People believe that the crowd is less likely to be wrong and hope to gain social acceptance by conforming to group behavior. Robert Cialdini's book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, provides many fascinating examples of how social proof impacts human behavior. When applying the principle of social proof, it is important to consider the following points. Accuracy. Avoid presenting false or misleading social proof. Losing people's trust can harm your reputation in the long run. Similarity. Ensure that the individuals or groups you present as social proof are similar to your target audience. People are more influenced by the behavior of those who resemble them. Transparency. Clearly indicate the source of the social proof. Evidence from credible sources is more effective. Here are some ways to effectively use the principle of social proof. Use testimonials and reviews. Share positive experiences from your customers or users. Show social media proof. Highlight your follower count, likes, shares, and comments. Emphasize expert endorsements. Mention that your product or service is approved or recommended by experts. Demonstrate popularity. Showcase that your product or service is a bestseller or highly preferred. The Stoics, however, advised against blindly trusting the crowd and instead emphasized critical thinking and independent reasoning. As Seneca said, following the crowd is the worst path. People are often misled or manipulated. Always act in alignment with your own values and principles, and do not let the crowd carry you away. Remember, when using the principle of social proof, your ultimate goal should be to guide people in a truthful and beneficial way. Manipulating others or using them for personal gain is unethical. 15. The framing effect. The power of presentation. The framing effect refers to how the way information is presented can significantly influence people's perceptions and decisions. The same information, when framed differently, can lead to completely different reactions. This effect is a powerful tool in the art of persuasion, but it requires ethical responsibility. The framing effect is influenced by psychological tendencies, language structure, and cultural norms. People use frames to meet basic needs like avoiding uncertainty, minimizing losses, and maintaining a consistent self-image. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky's prospect theory provides a detailed explanation of how the framing effect impacts rational decision-making processes. When using the framing effect, it's important to keep the following points in mind. Accuracy. Avoid distorting or misleading information. Framing should highlight certain aspects of the truth, not alter it. Relevance. Design your frame to align with the values, needs, and interests of your target audience. Transparency. Don't hide your framing intentions. Be open and allow people to evaluate different perspectives. Here are some ethical ways to use the framing effect. Gain and loss frames present the same information in terms of both gains and losses. Remember that people tend to avoid losses more than they seek gains. Positive and negative frames highlight both the positive and negative aspects of a situation. A balanced approach makes you appear more trustworthy. Comparative frames. Compare your product or service to competitors. Emphasize your unique features and advantages. The Stoics emphasized viewing events objectively and controlling emotional reactions. By being aware of the framing effect, we can become more resistant to manipulation and make more rational decisions. As Marcus Aurelius said, everything is just perception. We can change our perception. Remember, the purpose of the framing effect is not to deceive or manipulate people, but to help them make informed and conscious decisions. By presenting information honestly and transparently, you allow people to evaluate different perspectives and reach their own conclusions. 16. The anchoring effect. The importance of first information. The anchoring effect refers to people's tendency to rely heavily on the first piece of information they receive when making decisions or estimates. This initial information subconsciously influences our later judgments and perceptions, even if it's irrelevant. The anchoring effect is a powerful psychological tool widely used in persuasion and marketing. The anchoring effect stems from cognitive biases, insufficient adjustment, and a lack of numerical literacy. People accept the initial information as a reference point and adjust their subsequent estimates based on it, but they often fail to adjust adequately. Research by Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman has demonstrated how strong and pervasive the anchoring effect truly is. When using the anchoring effect, it's important to consider the following points. Relevance. Ensure that the anchor is meaningful and related to the context. An irrelevant or absurd anchor may not produce the desired effect. Credibility. Make sure the anchor is realistic and attainable. An anchor that is too high or too low can damage your credibility. Context. Pay attention to the context in which the anchor is presented. The environment and expectations influence how the anchor is perceived. Here are some effective ways to use the anchoring effect. Set a high initial price. When negotiating, start with a price higher than your competitors. This makes any subsequent discounts appear more attractive. Offer luxury options. Introduce premium versions of your product or service to make the standard version seem more reasonably priced. Use large numbers. When making comparisons, use large numbers to make smaller ones seem less significant. For example, saying 90 out of 100 people were satisfied is more impactful. However, we must not cross ethical boundaries. Using the anchoring effect to mislead or manipulate people can harm our reputation in the long run and create moral discomfort. When using the anchoring effect, our goal should be to help people make informed and conscious decisions. For Stoics, moderation and justice are essential virtues. We should always evaluate our decisions and actions in light of these principles. Our persuasion skills should not be used to deceive others, but to contribute positively to society. 17. The distraction technique. Blocking critical thinking. Distraction technique aims to temporarily reduce a person's ability to think critically, making the persuasion process easier. This involves diverting their attention in another direction, preventing logical analysis or the evaluation of potential risks. This technique is an ethically sensitive subject and, if misused, can lead to serious consequences. The distraction technique works through psychological mechanisms such as cognitive overload, emotional manipulation, and information saturation. When people are distracted or overwhelmed with too much information, they lose their ability to evaluate it critically. This makes them vulnerable to manipulation. Before using this technique, it's crucial to carefully evaluate its ethical implications. I want to emphasize that this technique should never be used for unethical or manipulative purposes. The information presented here is solely for awareness and to help you protect yourself from manipulation attempts. The following examples are for informational purposes only and are not recommended for use under any circumstances. Fast talking. Speaking quickly and in a complex manner can make it difficult for people to understand what you're saying. Emotional loading. Triggering emotional reactions to prevent rational thinking. Changing the subject. Diverting attention to an unrelated topic to avoid addressing a controversial issue. Dazzling details. Focusing on interesting but irrelevant details to distract people from the main issue from a Stoic perspective. Rational thinking and virtuous behavior are of utmost importance. Therefore, the manipulative use of the distraction technique is strongly opposed. You must practice clarifying your own thoughts and remain conscious of others' attempts to manipulate you. The Stoic approach teaches us to stay vigilant against any attempts to block critical thinking. We must maintain full control over our thoughts and actions and not allow others to manipulate us. Remember, the distraction technique can be very dangerous and, if misused, can cause significant harm. Your goal should not be to manipulate people, but to establish honest and transparent communication with them. Avoid any behavior that hinders critical thinking and strive to help others make informed decisions. 18. Emotional intelligence. The key to persuasion skills. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and use our own emotions and those of others. It is the key to persuasion skills because it forms the foundation for influencing people and building connections with them. Individuals with high emotional intelligence communicate better, lead more effectively, and build stronger relationships. Emotional intelligence develops through genetic factors, early childhood experiences, and learning. It's crucial to work on recognizing, understanding, and managing both our own emotions and those of others. Daniel Goleman's book, Emotional Intelligence, popularized this concept and highlighted its importance in both professional and personal life. Here are some ways to develop emotional intelligence. Self-awareness. Recognize your emotions and try to understand their causes. Be aware of how your emotions influence your behavior. Self-management. Effectively manage your emotions. Develop skills to handle stress, control impulses, and maintain a positive attitude. Social awareness. Improve your ability to understand others' emotions and empathize with them. Learn to read body language, tone of voice, and other communication cues. Relationship management. Enhance your skills in effective communication, conflict resolution, inspiring others, and influencing people. How can we use emotional intelligence in the persuasion process? Here are a few tips. Practice empathy. Try to understand the emotions and needs of the person you're engaging with. See the world from their perspective. Build trust. Earn the trust of others by being honest, genuine, and respectful. Use appropriate language. Adapt your language to the emotional state and cultural background of the person you're addressing. Create emotional connections. Highlight shared values and goals to establish an emotional bond with the other person. Manage your emotional reactions. Keep your emotions under control and maintain a professional demeanor. Stoics teach us not to suppress our emotions but to understand and wisely manage them. Emotional intelligence helps us persuade virtuously and add value to others. And there you have it, the 18 psychological persuasion techniques, blended with Stoic philosophy. By using these techniques ethically and honestly, you can add value not only to yourself, but also to others. And so, we've reached the end of our journey into the depths of the art of persuasion. Guided by Stoic philosophy, we've explored the complexities of human psychology and unraveled the secrets of 18 psychological techniques. But remember, this knowledge isn't just theoretical. It offers practical tools that can be applied in our daily lives. What we've learned in this video will not only help us influence others, but also aid in our personal growth. By enhancing our emotional intelligence, we can communicate better, build stronger relationships, and live a more fulfilling life. By sharpening our critical thinking skills, we can resist manipulation attempts and make more conscious decisions. For the Stoics' persuasion is not a battle, but a collaboration. Our goal is not to manipulate or exploit others for our own gain, but to help them, add value to their lives, and create a better world together. Remember, success achieved virtuously is always more meaningful. Now, I have a challenge for you. Start integrating what you've learned in this video into your life. Each day, try applying one Stoic persuasion technique and observe the results. Share your experiences, thoughts, and questions in the comments with me and other viewers. Together, we can grow stronger and wiser. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel. You can also check out my other videos on Stoic philosophy. And finally, let me leave you with this. Believe in yourself, stay true to your values, and always strive to be virtuous. With the guidance of Stoic wisdom, you can achieve success in every area of your life and live a fulfilling existence. See you in the next video. Take care, and let the light of Stoic wisdom guide your path.